There is a force that quietly separates the few who rise from the many who drift. It is not luck, it is not talent, it is not chance, it is time, used with precision and intent. And within that there is one habit, simple in form but profound in power, that shapes the destiny of every great man. It is this: the deliberate use of 1 hour a day, just 60 minutes, not scattered, not distracted, but devotee, fully and quietly to building yourself. This hour, though ordinary in appearance, carries the potential to change everything about your life. You see, most people allow time to happen to them. They wake when they must, move reactively through the day, and fall asleep in exhaustion, only to repeat the cycle. They speak of ambition, they dream of change, yet they reserve no space to create it. And without space, nothing meaningful grows. But the man who sets aside 1 hour, his hour, sends a different signal to himself and to the world. He says, "I am not here to drift, I am here to build." And that declaration, repeated daily, reshapes the very structure of his existence. What should you do in this hour? The answer is not rigid. It is not about a single task. It is about the deliberate sharpening of the mind and spirit. It may be reading, not casually but studiously. It may be writing, clarifying your thoughts, your goals, your philosophy. It may be sitting in stillness, reflecting, detaching, regaining command of your emotions. Or it may be planning, setting the course for your actions with clarity rather than chaos. This hour is yours, and within it you meet the man you are becoming. Let's speak plainly. You will not always feel like giving this hour. Some days will feel rushed, some will feel heavy. But it is precisely because of those days that the hour matters. The hour is your anchor. It is the line you refuse to cross. When the world pulls at your attention, this hour is your refusal. When fatigue tempts you to coast, this hour is your resistance. And slowly, day by day, you begin to notice something profound. You are no longer governed by moods. You are no longer steered by circumstance. You are now led by discipline. Now understand this. 1 hour is not a small thing, not when it is stacked. 1 hour daily is 7 hours a week. That is over 300 hours a year. 300 hours of intentional self-development. While others waste them on distractions and idle talk. While others scroll, you build. While others react, you reflect. While others move aimlessly, you move with purpose. And in time, that advantage compounds into something undeniable. Let's also speak of identity. Every action you take reinforces who you believe you are, and when you honor this hour each day, you reinforce the belief that you are a man of standards, a man who does not need external pressure to act, a man who does not wait for the perfect moment to start, a man who leads himself. And that identity, strengthened daily, begins to bleed into every area of your life. You become sharper in conversation, more deliberate in decision, more composed under pressure. Why? Because while others let their days rule them, you rule your hour. And in ruling that hour, you learn to rule yourself. Let's address excuses. You will hear them from within and without. I'm too busy, I don't have the time. But these are not reasons, they are admissions. Admissions of misplaced priorities. The truth is, no man lacks time, only focus. And 1 hour is not too much to ask from a man who claims to seek greatness. It is, in fact, the minimum price. The hour does not steal your freedom, it gives it to you. Because through discipline, life becomes simpler. You know what matters. You stop being owned by urgency. You become proactive rather than reactive. And now let me leave you with this. Greatness is not built in grand gestures. It is built quietly, consistently, in the hours when no one claps, no one watches, and no one cares, except you. The man who gives himself this hour is not waiting for success, he is preparing for it. He is not hoping to be chosen, he is choosing himself. Each morning, each evening, each sacred protected block of time, where he says to the world and to himself, I will not leave my potential unattended. In that hour, greatness is no longer a wish. It becomes a practice, usher. The power of this 1 hour does not lie in how loud it is, it lies in its repetition. It lies in the silent agreement you make with yourself every day, I will show up no matter what. And it is this agreement, honored daily, that begins to form the invisible foundation of everything you will become. Most men, without knowing it, live in chaos. They respond to life as it happens, like leaves carried by the wind. They move where they are pushed. But the man who claims his hour builds a center, a steady core. He decides how he will face the world long before the world arrives at his door. Understand this: your mind, left unattended, does not grow stronger, it grows weaker. Without direction, it does not sharpen, it dulls. This is why your hour matters. It is not merely a time to learn, but a time to command, a time to remind your mind who is in charge, to reject the drift, to clarify your vision, to remove the noise and bring forward the signal. Every great man you admire, whether known or unknown, has in some form practiced this. The quiet, focused dialogue with self that builds inner order before external conquest. What happens over time is extraordinary. You begin to notice your thinking change. You react slower and more wisely, you speak less and with more weight. You plan not as a dreamer, but as a builder. Because this hour, though small in the measurement of a day, begins to stretch itself into the other 23. The discipline, the focus, the clarity, they do not stay locked within the hour. They bleed into your meetings, your conversations, your choices. You are no longer switching gears between the man you want to be and the man you are. They are becoming one. This is how transformation happens, not through bursts of excitement, not through rare flashes of motivation, but through daily confirmation of who you have decided to become. The man who gives himself this hour is no longer seeking greatness, he is practicing it, he is rehearsing it, he is aligning with it in the most important way, through behavior. And behavior repeated long enough erases doubt. You no longer need to ask, am I becoming better? You can see it, you can feel it, it is reflected in your patterns. Let's speak now about mastery. Mastery is not found in special occasions. It is built in obscurity, in the dark, in the silence. While others celebrate temporary wins, you are investing in permanence, and your hour is the proof. While they rest on yesterday's effort, you begin again. While they fluctuate, you remain. Because greatness is never about what you do once, it is about what you do without fail. Now let's talk about the challenges you will face in this pursuit. Some days the hour will feel productive, other days it will feel empty, but let me be clear, both days are valuable. The productive hour sharpens your edge. The quiet, empty hour strengthens your discipline. Success does not belong to the man who moves only when inspired. It belongs to the man who moves regardless, who shows up even when there is no external reward. Because showing up, in and of itself, is the reward. It is what builds the identity that outlasts motivation. Let's speak now about competition. Most will never do this. They will not claim their hour. They will not guard it. They will not respect it. And that is why you must. Because the distance between you and the rest will not be created in public. It will be created in private. You win not when people see you work, but when they do not. You rise not when praised, but because in those forgotten moments the man who quietly sharpens himself becomes the man others later call prepared. Let's speak about time. 1 hour may feel small, but it is a lever, it is a multiplier. It does not just change the hour itself, it changes how you see the day, how you face the week, how you plan the year. A man who owns his hour owns his focus, and a man who owns his focus, he soon owns results that others call unbelievable. But they are not unbelievable, they are mathematical. They are the outcome of a man who understands the power of doing what others refuse to do, consistently. And let me leave you with this. The hour you devote to yourself is not selfish. It is necessary. It is not about removing yourself from responsibility. It is about equipping yourself to carry it. A stronger mind, a more centered spirit, a clearer vision. These do not come by accident. They come by appointment. And that appointment, every day, is what this hour become. In that sacred hour, you are no longer reacting to life, you are designing it. The hour you give to yourself each day is not about escaping responsibility. It is about reinforcing your readiness to bear it. For life will test you in unexpected ways at inconvenient times. There will be challenges that cannot be planned for and pressures that do not ask your permission before arriving. But when you have trained yourself, day after day, in this quiet hour, you will meet those moments differently. You will not panic, you will not shrink, you will stand firm, because greatness was rehearsed, not imagined. You have prepared for storms when others have merely hoped for calm. Let's talk now about clarity. The world is noisy, people move fast, opinions fly from every direction, and the man without clarity becomes a puppet. He is pulled by trends, manipulated by urgency, and exhausted by distractions. But the man who protects his hour, who withdraws daily into thought, reflection, and focus, becomes unmoved. He does not wonder what to do next. He does not live in confusion. His hour gives him a chance to filter, to decide, to choose his direction before the world chooses it for him. And clarity, once established, creates something rare: confidence. Not loud confidence, not arrogance, but the quiet confidence of a man who knows he is walking the right path, who knows his time is being spent wisely. And because he knows, he moves through life more powerfully. His decisions come quicker, his words carry more weight, his ability to say no to distractions becomes sharper. All because his hour carved away the unnecessary and revealed what truly matters. Now let's speak about learning. There is no growth without input, and the man who acts as if 1 hour will shape his life treats learning as a duty, not a luxury. He reads, he studies, not to impress others, but to improve himself. He gathers knowledge not haphazardly, but with direction. He asks, what must I understand to become who I intend to be? And then he studies accordingly. This is not passive learning. This is targeted, strategic, and when done daily, it stacks until wisdom becomes instinct. Let's talk about emotional control. The hour you give yourself each day strengthens more than your mind, it strengthens your spirit. In stillness, you notice your tendencies, your frustrations, your worries. You observe them, you learn from them, and slowly you stop being ruled by them. You become composed. While others are thrown by every inconvenience, you remain stable. While others lash out, you respond, not because you're emotionless, but because you are trained. That hour becomes your gym for emotional mastery. Now consider this: when you do something every day, it becomes part of you, not something you do, something you are. That is the secret most overlooked. They ask, how do I become disciplined? How do I stay focused? The answer is this hour, not because of what happens within it once, but because of what happens within it over time. Day after day, week after week, month after month. The habit carves itself into your identity, away, until missing the hour feels unnatural, until showing up for it becomes who you are. Let's talk now about how this habit impacts others. You may think this hour is about you, and in part it is, but its effects extend far beyond. A stronger, sharper, calmer man becomes a better leader, a better father, a better friend, a better creator. Your private victories in this hour produce public results. People may not know why you are different, why you are more composed, why you seem always ready, but you will know. And it will come from the sacred, often invisible work you do when no one is clapping. Let's now speak of temptation. Skipping the hour is easy. Life will offer you reasons. You are busy, you are tired, you are already ahead. But understand this: the temptation to skip today is the invitation to weaken tomorrow. Once you begin negotiating with your standard, you teach yourself that comfort is an option, and slowly, without even realizing it, you return to the ordinary. The man who masters his hour, however, closes that door. He does not allow comfort to become the teacher. He allows discipline to hold the pen. And let's speak finally about legacy. 1 hour may seem small when measured in isolation, but when multiplied across years, it becomes staggering. Thousands of hours, thousands of decisions, thousands of confirmations that you are not here to drift. You are here to lead yourself. And that leadership does not fade. It is passed on to your peers, to your family, to those who watch quietly, wondering how you became so steady, so sure, so rare. Let me leave you with this. This hour is not a duty, it is a gift you give to the man you are becoming. Each time you claim it, you send him a message. I see you, I believe in you, and I will not abandon you. That message, repeated daily, becomes belief, and that belief, over time, becomes destiny. Because when a man masters his hour, he does not just control his time. He controls his life. The more you commit to this single hour, the more you begin to realize it is not just shaping your day, it is shaping you. Quietly, steadily, without asking for recognition. This hour becomes your personal forge. It is where distractions are melted away and focus is hammered into sharpness. It is where excuses are burned off and self-respect is reforged. And over time, something profound occurs. The man who entered this hour out of discipline emerges from it each day with authority, not over others, over himself. This is when the hour begins to do its deepest work. In the early days, it builds momentum. Soon it creates consistency. But eventually, it does something far more important. It transforms your nature. No longer are you forcing yourself to be disciplined. You have become a disciplined man. No longer are you struggling to stay focused. You are focused. This is the subtle shift between effort and embodiment. And it happens only when a man commits, not for a day, not for a week, but until the habit is no longer something he does, but something he is. Let's talk about standards. A man without standards drifts. He becomes reactive. But the man who owns his hour raises his standards almost without realizing it. Because as you spend time daily refining your mind, your tolerance for mediocrity fades. You stop entertaining weak thoughts. You stop engaging in aimless conversations. You stop giving time to activities that do not move you forward. You simply rise. And in rising, you pull your entire life with you. Now let's talk about clarity. Without this hour, clarity becomes rare. Most people move from task to task, from distraction to distraction, rarely asking themselves if they are even headed in the right direction. But you know, because you've carved out time to think, to plan, to correct. This hour gives you command of your days before your days command you. And the man who commands his days commands his years. Clarity is not found in chaos, it is found in conscious solitude. Let's address resistance, not external resistance, internal. Because even after weeks, even after months, the temptation to skip will visit you. It will come dressed as comfort, as logic, as earned rest. But understand this, skipping your hour is not about saving time. It's about sacrificing alignment. The strongest men are not the ones who avoid resistance. They are the ones who meet it daily and proceed anyway. They do not wait for motivation. They do not wait for convenience. They move because their identity no longer negotiates. Now consider your language. When you honor this hour, even your words change. You stop saying, I'll try. You start saying, I do. You start saying someday. You start saying today. You start hoping. You start expecting. Why? Because this hour has taught you that progress is not magical. It is mathematical. Show up for your hour, and your hour shows up for you. Let's speak about respect. The world respects the man who respects himself. And the clearest sign of self-respect is how you handle your time. People see how you carry yourself, how you schedule your life, how you decline distractions. And though they may not say it, they feel it. This man is different. He moves with structure. He speaks with conviction. He does not need permission. His respect is self-issued, and because of that, others follow his lead. Now let's address expansion. 1 hour a day is not the ceiling, it is the floor. As your capacity grows, so does your appetite. You begin to want more. More clarity, more control, more contribution. And soon, what began as 1 hour becomes the seed of a new life. You no longer think in terms of discipline alone. You think in terms of dominion. How you can expand, how you can elevate. How you can leave something behind that speaks long after you're gone. Finally, let's speak of gratitude. Because the deeper you go into this habit, the more you realize this hour is not a burden, it is a gift. It is a pocket of time where the world's demands fade and your inner voice grows louder. It is a daily reminder that you are not a slave to chaos. You are a builder, a designer, a man who shapes his environment because he first chose to shape himself. So remember this, the hour is not optional, not for the man who seeks greatness. Not for the man who knows what he could become if only he stayed aligned. It is his refuge, his gym, his classroom, his throne. And the man who sits upon it daily, man rules his life. As the days turn into weeks and the weeks into months, something profound begins to emerge from your daily hour. You no longer see this time as separate from the rest of your life. It has become the foundation. It has become the root, silently feeding everything else. Your work improves, your conversations improve, your ability to decide, to focus, to endure, all improve. Why? Because greatness is not built in public. It is built quietly. It is built when no one is watching. In the still moments, when you choose discipline over distraction. This hour has now become more than habit. It has become identity. You no longer ask, should I do it today? You are the man who does it. There is no debate, no friction. You simply begin, because consistency once established eliminates negotiation. This is why the strongest men do not appear to struggle with discipline. It's not that they never feel resistance, it's that they've removed the option to entertain it. Let's speak of momentum. When you own your hour each day, you stop starting over. You stop falling into the pattern of good weeks and bad weeks. You rise steadily. The peaks and valleys smooth out. You become reliable, not just to others, but to yourself. And that reliability breeds power. The man who trusts himself does not hesitate. He does not waver. He moves quickly, speaks clearly, and acts decisively. Why? Because he knows he will do what must be done. Now, let's turn to creativity. Most people wait for creativity to strike. They hope for insight. But when you devote time daily to thinking, learning, and reflecting, creativity becomes something you can summon, not something you chase. It arrives because you've prepared a place for it. Great ideas visit minds that are ready, minds that have been conditioned through quiet, focused effort. Here, your hour becomes a magnet for clarity and invention, because discipline opens the door for creativity to walk in. Let's also speak about pressure. As you grow, responsibility increases. People expect more. Deadlines tighten, stakes rise. And yet, while others flinch under this weight, you remain composed. Why? Because your hour has trained you for this. You face yourself daily. You deal with thoughts and emotions in advance. You are no stranger to discomfort. And so, when life tests you, you don't see pressure as a threat. You see it as familiar terrain. You walk calmly where others scramble. Now let's talk about decisiveness. Every day, your hour gives you time to clear the fog, to process, to decide in solitude before noise fills the air. And that daily sharpening of perspective allows you to make better choices faster. While others hesitate, you act. Not recklessly, but from a place of deep clarity earned during your hour of preparation. This makes you appear faster, smarter, luckier, but luck did not bring you here, habit did. Let's move to presence. There is something rare about a man who is fully present. He listens, he engages, he's not scattered, checking his phone, half-heartedly interacting with the world. The man who owns his hour learns presence. He practices focus so often that it becomes natural. People feel this. In conversations, in meetings, in moments that matter. They sense that he is here fully. And that presence makes him influential without effort, magnetic, without performance. But let's touch on fulfillment. Many chase goals and achievements, believing fulfillment lies in reaching them. But the man who gives himself this hour daily understands the deeper truth. Fulfillment is not found in arrival, it is found in alignment. When your daily actions reflect your values, when your routines reflect your standards, you feel at peace. You feel whole. Not because everything is perfect, but because you are practicing who you are meant to be. And now, let's talk about legacy. There will come a time when others will ask how you did it, how you became calm under pressure, how you built success with grace, how you led without force. And though they may want a shortcut, the answer will always be the same. You did it in the hour no one saw. You did it in the quiet, in the discipline. In the refusal to skip what you knew mattered most. That hour, seemingly ordinary, became the birthplace of everything they now admire. Let me leave you with this. When you look back years from now, you will not remember every small victory. You will not remember every good or bad day. But you will remember that you showed up daily, faithfully, for the 1 hour that shaped you. That hour, honored without fail, became your foundation. It was not the loudest thing you did, but it was the most important. Because that 1 hour, repeated enough times, became the reason your entire life was built, not on luck, or chance, but on certainty. There will come a moment, often quietly, when you will realize you no longer need to remind yourself to show up. The habit is no longer a decision. It is no longer a challenge. It has become your nature. You are simply a man who does the work, not for praise, not for the illusion of discipline, but because this is who you have chosen to become. And that is the ultimate reward of the hour, not just what it gives you, but what it makes of you. At first, you committed to the hour because you wanted results, but now the hour exists because it is a reflection of your standards. It does not depend on your mood. It does not bend to your schedule. It is as much a part of your day as breathing, as eating, as sleeping. And that is why it works. Greatness, after all, is not a moment. It is a system. And systems are built through relentless, unwavering consistency. Let's talk now about power. Not the loud kind, but the subtle, lasting kind. The man who claims his hour each day builds invisible power. Power in his mind as his thoughts become clearer. Power in his words as his intentions become sharper. Power in his presence as his energy becomes more grounded. While others seek shortcuts, he builds roots, and those roots hold even in storms. Let's address influence. You do not become influential by trying to be. You become influential by becoming undeniable. And nothing makes a man undeniable more than quiet, self-led consistency. People respect patterns. They respect reliability. And when you show up for yourself every day, you create a presence that others can feel. They may not know why, but they trust you. Because trust is built when a man does not flinch from his own commitment. Let's speak about humility. There is a temptation when results arrive to believe you are now above the hour. But you must remember, the hour is why you have risen. The hour is what separated you. If you abandon it, you abandon your edge. True greatness is not found in rising once. It is found in remaining great, in sustaining what others only temporarily taste. And only those who respect the process continue to rise when others fade. Now, let's talk about refinement. When you hold to your hour, you are not only reinforcing what works, you are constantly sharpening what could be better. You identify gaps, you remove inefficiencies, you polish weaknesses. You are not static, you are not satisfied, and that hunger, not for more but for better, keeps you from becoming complacent. You remain sharp because you refuse to believe you have arrived. Let's move to contribution. The hour is personal, yes, but it is also preparation. As you grow, you become a man capable of giving more, of serving better, of leading from example, not from talk. Your hour ensures that when the world requires more from you, you have it to give. You do not strain to meet demands. You have surplus, because you have filled yourself first, quietly, and now we come to certainty. Perhaps the greatest gift the hour gives is this. You no longer hope that you will succeed. You no longer wonder if you will be able to handle the weight of life. You know. You know because your track record proves it. You know because your patterns reinforce it. You know because each day when the world was still quiet, you were already at work. Not reacting, but building. Not hoping, but proving. Let me leave you with this. Men search far and wide for secrets. They look for hacks, for shortcuts, for faster ways. But you will know something deeper. You will know that everything you built came not from rushing, but from returning. Returning every day to the same sacred space. The hour. The time you gave to yourself. Not because you had nothing else to do, but because you knew, without this hour, nothing else works properly. And one day, others will ask, what made the difference? They will want a trick, they will want a moment, but the truth will be simple, quiet, and unglamorous. You mastered your life because you mastered your hour, and that above all else changed everything.